Okay, wanted to walk you through some quick examples of how to build Mclaurin series from Mclaurin series that you should already memorize. So again, these are the 5 Mclaurin series that the College Board expects you to memorize for the AP exam. So we're going to walk through some examples of building Mclaurin series from these series. So the first example we're going to do is to build a Mclaurin series. Really only going to write the first 3 terms on each of these. We're going to talk about how to modify the actual sigma notation a little bit later, but I want you to make sure you understand how this process goes before we do that. So what I have here is I want to write the first 3 terms of the Mclaurin series for x times e to the 2x. So the first thing is identifying which of the memorized Mclaurin series we want to start with. In this case, it will be e to the x. And the 1 for e to the x, if you recall from the first screen, is 1 plus x to the first over 1 factorial plus x to the second over 2 factorial. And I could keep going, but I really want the first 3 terms. So now I need to look at what I would do to modify this. So typically what I do is I work from the inside out in the PEMDAS notation. So this is in the exponent, it's also inside the function. So I would make that modification first. So basically e to the 2x, the Mclaurin series for that is generated by replacing all the x's over here with 2x. Of course, that will simplify. Oops, that's 4x squared over 2, so let's go ahead and simplify that into 2x squared. And now I'm ready to make this final modification, multiplying it by the x. So when I multiply it by x, let's just keep it in blue. Then I multiply each of these terms by x, and that would give me the first 3 terms. All right, next example. Write the first 3 terms of Mclaurin series for sine of x divided by x plus 1. So again, we have to figure out which Mclaurin series we're going to start with, and that makes sense to do sine x. And if you remember from the first screen, the first 3 terms are x minus x cubed over 3 factorial plus x to the 5th over 5 factorial. So now I want to make a modification in PEMDAS order, so I'm going to divide everything by x, which reduces all the powers on the x's by 1. And then I want to add the 1. So when I add the 1, of course, that's only going to affect that first term, because it only gets combined with like terms, right, when you add. So those would be the first 3 terms of that Mclaurin series. So finally, let's look to the last example. And here we have our last example. We want to write the first 3 terms of Mclaurin series for this particular function. So again, choosing the Mclaurin series is key, and we're going to start with the one that's formed from the geometric polynomial. We're going to write the first 3 terms out, and then we're going to do the modification. So first, I have an x cubed where the x should be. So that means basically I'm going to plug in x cubed for all those x's. I'm going to simplify it. And then I'm going to multiply everything by 3x. Hopefully this helps.